Hey everyone, welcome back to the Unsaid Podcast. I'm Sneha, and today's episode is extra special because I'm joined by someone incredibly inspiring. Yes, he's my younger brother, Jay. Jay isn't just my sibling, he's an entrepreneur who left his corporate job to launch his own successful business, New World. In this episode, we're not going to just explore his exciting journey from the corporate grind to running a dynamic business, but also diving into how he integrates wellness into his lifestyle. So get ready for a lively conversation packed with business insights, wellness strategies, and a few surprises as Jay and I explore the intersection of business and personal well being. Hello, Jay. Welcome to the Unsaid Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, you've always been a rebel. Though you're my younger brother, but you've been a rebel. You did what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it's generally like, the younger brother or the younger sister takes from the elder one. So what is it? What has been your experience?
I think seeing you grow and go through your own experiences made me realize what I should and should not do. And majority of them were defined by the society of what you were supposed to do. And I realized that's not something I wanted to do. So I feel like you paved the path for me in a very good way. You made sure I don't follow things that you got sort of forced into or molded
Yes.
into. And one thing I was very good at was observing. And I observed you, I observed a lot of our siblings, and I realized there are points that I should not do and there are points I should do. And that's how I think that whole rebellious nature came about, because it's not about saying no and not doing it for the sake of stubbornness, but it was more of, no, I don't want to do it because I don't think that's right. I'd rather figure out my way on my own. And the worst come, I fail, but I learn. And I think that's where my whole entrepreneurial lifestyle started, because you know that when I was 21, when I started my own agency and I failed. Then I started when I was 24, I failed. 27, I failed. And after the corporate life is when everything worked out. So it was more of trial and trial and trial, saying, no, I'm not going to listen to the society.
Yeah, because it's very funny because people used to call me a rebel.
Yeah.
They used to call me as the naughty child. And you were the very quiet, the very peaceful child. And I was forced into a corporate job, which I didn't want to do. And I still remember the day when we went to find your engineering college, and you were like supposed to be an engineer at this point in time, and you were like, no, you were very young, but then you were like, you put your foot down and you said, no, I'm going to learn design, and that's where my passion lies. And that is something that, of course, I have learned from you, that take your step and put your foot down and do what you want and what matters to you the most. So just run us through your journey. Like, how did you leave your corporate job and why did you get into starting your own? Because there were a lot of challenges we faced, right, together, because we used to live together and with parents and a lot of expenses and stuff. So what was on your mind and how did you navigate through it?
I think our upbringing has a lot to do with this, especially with mom and dad. With mom teaching me how to design and draw, I think that stuck to me throughout my life. And I figured out my good skills and my weaknesses at a very early stage. And I figured that once I deep dive into what I'm good at, I might as well try to do very well at it. So that's when the first design jump came in, where engineering was the primary option.
Yes.
But I had to move into design. So I had to convince everyone in the family, including our extended family, that this is the career I want to choose with. But it was also about me trying to prove it. Every year while studying design, I had to prove myself over and over again. So one freelance gig here, one freelance gig there, because it was a lot of money for dad to spend at that time.
Yeah.
So I had to show some sort of an ROI to him, that throughout my high school, I didn't have good marks, no good grades. So this was the only period of those 3 years where I had to prove myself that whatever money he's putting in, it's gonna succeed me.
And I still don't know how he agreed, though.
I
would like to point that out. I don't know how you convinced him.
I think it was mom, to be honest, because she knew I was horrible at studies.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was good at was design. But it was a lot of blessing, to be fair. Finding the college, to getting those different modules of trying, I think, 12 types of design courses in a matter of 3 years, to figure out, okay, what I'm good at. So basically got my hands dirty in all of them, figured what I'm excellent at, and then I doubled down on it with my first job. Then when you made me move to Dubai, I got another internship. So I was a creative head in Bangalore
Yeah.
at that time at a very young age. And I came here to do an internship. So I had
Started
to,
from scratch.
had to double down, maybe 10 times lower than my
Yes.
position. And I was getting very well paid in Bangalore at that time.
Yes.
So it was more of just follow my passion. And I think seeing you sing and dance and do a lot of curricular activities, I realized I'll make that side hobby as my primary hobby. And I think even though money was the biggest challenge for us growing up, this passion of design sort of got me to where I am now.
So, coming back to the theme of our podcast, which is unsaid, I remember, though it was unsaid to me also from your side, but there was a time when you went through, I don't know, you call it anxiety, what do you call it? I don't know. But then you used to, you used to feel dizzy, you used to feel sick all the time. You never discussed it with anyone. So the whole idea about discussing this in this podcast so that, a lot of people listening to us can relate to it, that what exactly happened with you, and maybe someone somewhere is actually going through it. So what happened?
I think it was a lot of pressure from the family side while studying, financial constraints that we were seeing go around. I think that sort of put a lot of pressure on me when I started my first job. I didn't know what the expectations were, and I didn't know if I was supposed to be the man of the house or not, because you came to Dubai at that time.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of pressure came in, and I think it was self-inflicted.
Yes.
It was a lot of assumptions, it was a lot of expectations I created for myself, and I became my own enemy.
Yeah.
That made me go into a lifestyle that I was not supposed to. It was a lot of parties, it was a lot of being out late night, not sleeping. It sort of added up massively, and it
Just started becoming like an addiction.
it was rather than an addiction, I think it was more of an escape. And when I realized 8 months down the line that this is really starting to mess with my head, where I woke up lethargic,
Yeah.
I felt like there were ants in my head. I had no problem physically, but it was this mind was just on an overdrive. That's when I spoke to you and I said, I think I need to leave this place.
Take a step,
That was the
yeah.
only step, and that's when I moved here and I realized it didn't actually go away. For the first 3 years, it was even harder because we were staying in International City at that time.
Probably a very small house, yeah.
Very small house, 4 people, with a cat. And it was very, very hard for us to
Yeah.
wake up at 5 a.m. We used to wake up.
Yeah,
Go
mom,
to-
dad, me, you, the cat, struggling.
It was so hard that time. But I realized this is what it is, and accept the battle. And anxiety is a very big problem. It's a challenge everyone goes through at some point of time. It's also depression, it's sadness, it's a lot
Yes.
of stuff. But
Takes a lot of courage to get out of it, pull
Yeah.
yourself out of it. And I think it's only you who can do it. Like,
Correct.
we ourselves can pull ourselves out of it.
yeah.
Nobody else can.
Yeah.
They can help us, but I think the first step should be taken by us.
And you remember, I think me and mom used to wake up at 5 a.m. I used to
Yeah.
go to the gym that was down the road, that really small, broken gym.
Yes.
In that heat, we used to walk. Mom used to take a walk. And I think that was my first step, that I used to be the one to open the gym at 5:30, work out to make myself feel better, then come home, get ready, eat, have my protein shake, take our bus, then the metro, and then reach office at that time. So it went away when I started doing Muay Thai about 3 years ago.
So what is this Muay Thai? Because I don't think a lot of people have heard about this
Muay Thai?
Zen space, probably, what you would call it.
So it's basically a mixed martial art. It's type of a mixed martial art that's from South Asia. And I got into it because of my boss at that time. And he knew I was battling something, but I was very smart with what I did. So he got me into it, and 3 years, I realized that 1 hour of workout where you're punching a bag, you're getting punched by someone else,
Yes.
you have to zone in. That 1 hour of focus changed my life, honestly. And at that point, I think I stopped doing that about a year ago. I continued for 3 years, and also I incorporated the same thing into my business. So we have a fitness consultant who's
Wow.
with us
Okay,
every
that's
month
great.
on a retainer. He takes care of the lifestyle of my employees, their food, their nutrition, their supplements. So I have people who are engineers and designers, very weak, lower back issues at the age of 24, 25, who are doing piston squats now who have completed 300 workouts and they've put on like 10-15 kgs in the last 1.5 year. So whatever I learned, I brought it into my business, and honestly that's one of the biggest success, I would say.
So I saw that post on LinkedIn where you've mentioned that this is an additional perk that my company is offering, which I think stands out in the market. And I think it's a great start, and we're going to bring more experts who can talk. Probably we can bring a Muay Thai expert, who can tell us more about it. And slowly, what is this anxiety all about? There are a lot of speakers who are going to come on this show and explain us what this is all about, how to battle it, how to balance the difference between anxiety and excitement. There's a lot of difference between the two, but yet it's the same feeling. So I think this is a good start, and thank you for being here. I think we'll have another episode with you where we dig deep into your business and all of that. And great to have you here, and thank you so much for opening the first few episodes of this show with me. And that's all.
Thank you. I wish you the best.
Thank you.